Minecraft
Let's go back. Wait. Okay.
Bosses are about 2 or 3 blocks tall. So for my first boss, I started making this 100 block chain of snake segments. I'm referencing a centipede for this one, which isn't technically a Minecraft mob, but it's actually a perfect design for someone like me because it involves copy and pasting the same thing 100 times. The texture is probably closest to the skeleton horse due to the ribcage pattern. It's pretty simple, all things considered.
What is
the
this?
feet and spine aren't even cubes, they're just textures. The head is really the only unique part since it's supposed to be the skull or whatever. I don't think centipedes actually work like that, but realism isn't exactly the highest priority for this game, so I think we'll be fine. And it's kind of plain looking with just the head, so I added these big teeth next to this big mustache thing. The whole thing is painted using colors from the actual.
So this is the custom mob he decided to, or custom boss he decided to make. Yo, imagine this thing was in Minecraft.
Skeleton, and the design technically works with any shape with 1 or more segments. 1 segment physics is questionable. I will be the first to admit that, but in game development, anything is possible, except good water mechanics. They still haven't quite figured that one out yet. So this is the skelepede.
Looks
Basically,
fire.
when it spawns, the head starts chasing the player, and the body segments just kind of follow the head around. Like it's that one snake game with the apples that everybody in my class used to play instead of paying attention. But the trick with this one is that the body segments are actually individual entities with their own health bars. And if you kill one, the rest of them split off into a separate snake that chases you independently. This is kind of a complicated thing to explain.
So would you guys want this in the game?
But there's an invisible health bar under the hood that tracks the health of all of them combined, and you only truly beat the boss when every segment is gone. I don't know how balanced this will be, but I do know this will
Is that what it's called?
disgusting.
A skelepede?
If I can find a sound effect to use. Setting up pathfinding for a mob like this is kind of cursed. It likes to just get stuck curled up in the corner like a ferret, which would be pretty annoying, but thankfully I can just ask my friend Skylar to do all the mod work this time, so I can chill out on that stuff. Yeah, don't worry, there's no bugs. Well,
yo, no way it takes this much coding just for that one mob.
I guess there's one bug. I'll probably make this one climb on walls and ceilings too when I get around to it. But even Mojang hasn't figured out how to do that yet, so I'll probably wait until I'm older and wiser and not as lazy. But it wouldn't be a good boss without an arena, so I cooked something up real quick, and it starts in this empty hallway with a normal, unassuming iron door. Really lure you into a false sense of security, but it opens up this giant grid-shaped room with chasms everywhere. Even the ceiling isn't safe. And the fun thing about these holes is that they all have spikes in them. Now you may be thinking this is an evil layout choice for a boss that is literally designed to corner you and make movement difficult, but I'm using the same design philosophy as some of the greatest
I would like to try these
Suffering. Some of the pits even have water flowing down or foliage or even gold
I would like
blocks
this.
in
You would like it?
Ooh, real crazy rewards here. Next, I just randomized the whole thing with
he's
stone
making
brick
a whole
variants, skulls, chains, stairs. This is a pretty hostile looking environment, but I just can't help but feel like it's not hostile enough, which is why I decided to introduce spider eggs. I saved so much time on the skelepede design that I couldn't help but waste it all, making no less than 8 different spider egg models to decorate this lovely interior. There's variants for different sizes. Some of the shells are broken so you can see the actual eggs. The colors and shapes are actually pretty realistic to the real thing, which I will not be showing on screen right now. You can thank me by leaving a wonderful, intelligent comment, which I have the pleasure of reading every day. But there's plenty of mods that add decorative blocks that don't even do anything, so I decided that the eggs will spawn spiderlings, which are these tiny versions of the regular spider that I retextured from another video. It may have taken me longer to find the file than it would have just to make it from scratch, but would it really? So yeah, breaking the eggs spawns spiderlings, except for the tiny ones. You just have to walk on it for those. And to connect things back to the real game, spiders have a small chance to lay eggs now. Circle of life, how about it? Now usually this would be the part where I add lighting so you can see what you're doing at least, but I think it fits the theme of today to just leave it dark. Good luck. And while I'm at it, why don't we put eggs on some of the skelepede segments just for that extra bit of fun? The spiderlings don't do much damage or anything, but they can swarm you and they can push you around. Not really a big deal unless, I don't know, you were in some kind of limited space with fall hazards on every side.
What do you guys think about the movement of it, bro? I feel like the way it just like flies in the sky.
And finally,
I feel like it could be better, and also it seems really like way too fast.
As a reward for beating it, the skelepede drops gold, a couple stacks of bones, and last but not least, spider egg arrows. This unholy abomination is literally just an arrow with an egg on it. They work pretty much like a normal arrow, but when they land, they can spawn 1 to 3 friendly
What's up, bro? Yo, welcome to the stream. What's up, bro?
The friendly spiders attack other mobs.
What in the? Like he made an Among Us mob?
I will not sadly be implementing collars and breeds at this time, but they're still pretty cute, I think. Really just a great way to give back.
Yo, I would hate if these spiders got added, bro. They're smaller than baby zombies. I cannot aim that well to be able to hit these things.
Some of the frustration you went through with this thing. All things considered, I'd say this boss is maybe a bit too mean. I'll probably tone it down. I was in a bad mood making it. But you haven't seen anything yet, because compared to what I made next, this thing looks like a ray of sunshine. The first step to make a truly inspired Minecraft boss is sleep deprivation, but I'm on my health arc right now, so I'm doing the exact opposite and buying some melatonin. Either way, it's a flex since I'm paying.
I thought that was a sponsor for a second.
Which is machined out of metal.
Oh, it is a sponsor. Oh. Wait, should I skip it? How long is it? Jump ahead. Oh my.
Terms apply. Let's get back to the video. For my next boss, I decided to redesign the copper golem. It's just not quite evil enough for my taste. Now, the obvious thing to do is rehash the iron golem spawn sequence where you build 4 iron blocks and put a pumpkin on the top. But if I'm going to impress the mod developer, I need this golem to be different. So instead of just retexturing this model like
he's just retexturing
the copper
the model?
blocks start morphing when you walk up to it. The outer plating is actually just armor for a foldable copper mech on the inside, which unfolds
that's cool.
like flat Stanley into its final form. This is how I managed to waste the time I saved on the skelepede. I even kept all the regular copper golem motifs like the antenna and the big nose built into the head shape. I tried my best to make all the joints logical.
This looks vanilla too.
As much as they can be. Sure, if you look closely, there's a couple things that don't really make sense. But these days, all that matters is that it looks cool.
Hey, it doesn't look. It looks kind of vanilla.
There's so much surface.
But that's because the texture is made out of an actual block. But is this too skinny of a mob to be vanilla?
At a loss
That's what I'm wondering.
For what to paint. Right arm has this cannon thing that extends out of itself, which physically
like
makes
the arms
so
are
much
long
sense.
and skinny.
I wasn't sure, on the other hand, how to hide a giant sword in here, so it literally folds out like a spike strip. I made the interior darker to differentiate it from the exterior with vents and stuff.
This does not look vanilla, bro. Oh, not even close to vanilla.
So I replaced it with
jeez.
this glowing visor.
My bad.
And the head can even flip upside down to show a side with an angrier red visor. Blow its back out and then explode. I burned out my productivity juices, so I got Archie to do the rest of the animations. This thing walks around like it's invincible. And that's the fun part. It is actually completely invincible. In fact, the only way to stop it is for the copper to oxidize. You know that fun game mechanic where you sit and wait for your copper blocks to turn green?
What?
Well, now it's a boss. Better hope nobody puts
the only way to stop it is if you just wait till it turns green and rusts?
Wax on it.
No way.
That would be an unfortunate world-ending event. Yeah, except then the boss would not be fun in the slightest. So I came up with a way to fix this problem and the vanilla copper problem all at once. And it all starts in the arena, which opens up by giving you a pumpkin just to
should
freak
add this
people out when it actually transforms. As a matter of fact, I think we can just speed up the animation by 800% just to freak people out as much as possible.
It shoots arrows. Wait, that's kind of cool.
Made of copper. So how exactly does copper oxidize in the real world? It happens when the copper atoms combine with oxygen, creating copper oxide. So if we wanted to speed it up, you could increase the airflow, which is why in the game, copper oxidizes faster when it's surrounded by air on all sides. In the real world, moisture exposure would speed it up, particularly salt water. High temperatures could speed it up if we added a whole temperature mechanic. But if I add too many steps, it's going to stop feeling like Minecraft entirely. So I decided to add something that actually fits the theme of the game. Chemical warfare. So this is my new favorite thing. It's called toxic gas. We're using an array of transparent images to give it the illusion of volume, and it's a special block that replaces air and poisons anything that steps inside of it. If you leave it alone, it'll slowly rise. It likes to settle its way into cave ceilings, but you can also drain it by just digging a hole all the way up. It also spreads explosions.
So how do you place down toxic gas?
Actually just light it with flint and steel. But here's the thing. Due to its chemical, acidic, and otherwise conveniently unexplained properties, the gas can oxidize copper really fast, which spells bad news for certain invincible copper robots.
But how do you bring toxic gas
is also pretty expandable
inside
in the future in
of
case
that
you
room?
want a healing gas or a corrosive gas or a levitating gas. This side feature is slowly becoming not really a side feature. I kind of feel bad wasting it on this dumb video. So back to the arena, there's this sludge liquid that puffs out toxic gas every once in a while, and the whole platform is surrounded by a whole moat of the stuff. It's also kind of cramped in here, so you have to make the most of the space and bait the creature into the gas. Actually, I changed my mind. That's way too brutal, so I designed these toxic wisps. The model is made to look like dynamite, and their job is basically to follow you around and explode into clouds of toxic gas. They're supposed to be a distant, more stinky cousin to the alley, kind kind of like my emerald wisp from the village dungeon. However, when they are in the process of exploding, you can punch them around like the gas fireballs, which means you directly launch them into the copper sentinel. Womp, look at that, easy damage. Now we just turn the sludge into a toxic wisp spawner, and the fight is significantly more fun now. And if you take some of the sludge home with you, you can make a very dangerous but very fast copper oxidizer. I also made this model for a giant variant of the wisp, but I don't know.
Oh my, I feel like he's spending more time on the extra stuff than he is on the actual bosses,
what
bro.
He will do,
like, holy.
So he'll just stay in the folder for now. The copper sentinel has 3 main attacks and alternates between walking, shooting, swording. Sometimes he just
I feel like for some reason the bosses in Minecraft don't feel like a boss fight. I don't know why. Maybe because I've fought them so many times. Like, I feel like you don't go into an arena and fight these bosses. I don't know.
Explodes?
Well, there's only 2. There's only the Wither and the Ender Dragon. The Warden is not really a boss. It's just a mob.
Which seems counterintuitive,
but like this arena style fighting where you're like going back and forth with the mob seems like that isn't a thing in Minecraft right now.
It's really helpful because it clears out all the gas nearby, but to make it beatable in the wild, the explosion thing also spawns toxic wisps nearby for lore reasons. I'm not really sure what the reward for this one should be. To be honest, I'm kind of wanting to just turn this one into a full dungeon. So let me know what your ideas are, but for now, it was finally time for the mod developer to judge my work.
Uh-oh, let's see what he says. Let's see what the professional says.
Lays these spiderling eggs.
Oh, that's nasty. The entire idea with breaking apart into multiple mobs just makes that absolutely horrendous. Really interesting design. Creepy. I'm not sure that I would want to see that in my game. And I really like how it climbs the terrain as well. Like, it's not this jumpy motion they would do with more normal entities. It really works as a horror mod for any kind of purpose. So yeah, 6.5.
6.5, bro. You know how much time you probably spent on that? Oh my gosh. Yo, the copper golem better be better.
It's just like, it's more or less like a mimic. You think it's boss, but it isn't. I do like the arrow shooting. It's an interesting way to play on the vanilla expectation. So when it comes to the copper sentinel, these flying little wick guys and the copper sentinel, they don't seem like a clear match in heaven, but I do think they really add something to the game. Stuff that forces you to think slightly outside of the box to avoid such a situation. So all in all, I think the sentinel can get a solid 8, but the gas mechanics, easy 10 out of 10.
With that, I was successfully able to impress the mod developer, but this isn't over until it's 10s across the board. See ya.
Fire. Everybody subscribed it. He has 2.3 million subs. Okay, I don't know how much subscribing, me telling you guys that sub is gonna help, but